Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. I would like to encourage everyone on my Facebook friends list, everyone in my social groups, and all of my listeners from around the globe. Please do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to my YouTube page, and share this video podcast on all social media sites you are on, such as Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn, ladies and gentlemen. This video podcast is available in three forms: audio, video, and as a written text in order for us to reach our audience. I am the founder and president of GRACAM, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast is our black media component. For those of you who don't know me, then get to know me by purchasing and reading my story. Quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, 2nd edition. It's available as an ebook for $9.99 or as a paperback for $15 plus shipping and handling. I provide the link to my Amazon author page in the comment section below this video podcast. After you have read my story, and if you agree with my vision and plan to improve Black America, specifically Black Chicago, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform, get on camera, and let's talk about it. And encourage others to get involved with our cause and back this film project. We have upgraded our platform by moving from an audio podcast to a video podcast using StreamYard. We want to interact with our audience in real time through Facebook Messenger during our live stream. I created GRACAM in order to connect with other like-minded Black Americans, like-minded African immigrants within the United States of America, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Latinos, and Afro-Brazilians, as well as continental Africans. I encourage everyone on my Facebook page, everyone in my social groups who are Black entrepreneurs, African entrepreneurs, Black artists, African artists, Black authors, African authors, musicians, poets, community advocates, and spiritual leaders to make arrangements with me to come on this platform so that you can promote your products and services or share a 30-minute sermon with my listeners from the global community. We want to grow this platform for the global African community throughout the diaspora. For 33 years, Black Americans have taken me as a joke, specifically Black Chicagoans. They have rejected and overlooked my vision and plan to help improve Black America. All I have is my revised book, my virtual store, my online groups, and this platform. My film project is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group, Black Americans, before I cut and run to the African continent. I am seeking those of you from Black America, like-minded Black Americans that are brave enough, smart enough. Make yourself known to me. Work with me while I am alive. Don't wait until I am dead. Same thing for African immigrants here in the United States of America. Work with me while I am alive. Don't wait until I am dead. This is why I'm reaching out to African immigrants in America to help speed up the process. I encourage African immigrants in America from the following African nations: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. Please purchase my revised book, either the ebook or the paperback, and read my story. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform and let's talk about it. And also, let's encourage others to back this film project. Share my information with all your friends, including your non-black friends. This will help speed up the process. Our aim is to raise $250,000. We are using crowdfunding. We have a GoFundMe page, and we also have a PayPal page. If you are U.S. citizens, then I recommend that you use our PayPal page as a tax write-off, because this is a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit, faith-based, and community advocacy organization. In my Christian business, we will raise the bar in Black America. We will separate ourselves from con artists, the black boule, degenerates, democratic shills, hardened criminals, pedophiles, off-code Negroes, and urban terrorists. Those who reject my vision and plan will not be part of my Christian business, because this will be membership-based. We will pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. The question at hand: how long will it take for us to get this film project fully funded and made? Again, the answer is it's up to the Black grassroots and the global African family, because this is not my burden alone. This is a shared burden. We encourage non-black sympathizers to patronize our film project, but it's Black Americans and African immigrants who are GRCAM members' responsibility to build it and to own it. I try to host my show every week in order to engage people on my friends list and people in my social groups until I am able to get my film project fully funded and made. And once the proceeds from the film starts coming in, then I will be in a better position financially to purchase property in Chicago, buy office equipment, hire qualified Black middle-class professionals and African immigrants within the United States of America to work with me in building my Christian business, GRCAI of Chicago, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, for credibility before I cut and run to Africa. I refuse to be ignored. Again, this is why I created this platform. This is why I do video podcasts, because I want to be heard loud and clear, especially throughout the Black world. Those of you who will work with me and Sister Renee as it pertains to this film project will go down in history with us. Lord knows I would like to do more than just news and social commentaries. But at this point, I'm on a shoestring budget. All of my funds go towards bill, food, and rent. Without financial support from the Black grassroots and the global African family, then I am unable to do my God-given assignment, and that is to build the best African American business within the United States of America. This is a Nehemiah assignment. I do not operate like the next black man. I have my own style and way of doing things. You don't have to like me, but you will respect me, because I respect everybody. Those who reject my plan for the past 33 years will not be part of my Christian business, again, because it's membership-based. The sooner we get this film project fully funded and made and established in America, specifically Chicago, Illinois, the sooner I can turn the business over and expand it to the African continent. Upcoming events. Wednesday, December 18th, we will have guest speaker Roberta Williams from Texas. Friday, December 20th, we will have guest speaker Apostle Carla Harrell from Georgia. Friday, December 27th, we will have guest speaker Pastor Dr. Lola George Aoki from Nigeria. And Saturday, December 28th, we will have guest speaker Apostle Sarah Bana from Zambia. This will be our last social commentary until the first week of January 2025. I would like to wish all of my listeners from the global community a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. The title of this presentation, Border Czar Homan declares Chicago ground zero for mass deportation. The second topic will be Mayor Eric Adams was forced by the Biden administration to spend $6 billion on illegal immigrants. And the third topic will be on alert Black Americans who did a protest vote / those who chose the couch. Democrats are plotting against us. The first topic. Border Czar Homan declares Chicago ground zero for mass deportation. Today we're talking about mass deportation. Homan visit Chicago, my hometown, and everything that's getting ready to happen. January 20th, on day one, with Trump's inauguration. A few months ago, I did a stream on what was happening in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where there were a host of factories employing illegal immigrant children. And that was a story that was broke by the New York Times. We're now seeing illegal immigrant children being employed in jobs across the country. Family, these mega corporations all know what they're doing when they're engaging in hiring these illegal immigrant, particularly illegal immigrant children over American citizens. You have people on the left playing dumb, like they don't know what's going on. The most illegal immigrants are in New York City and Chicago. Many Chicago residents want the migrant crisis to end. The American people have spoken, and they re-elect Trump back into office. Trump said he will carry out mass deportation on day one. The Trump administration wants to rid Chicago of illegal immigrants, but Mayor Brandon Johnson has done everything in his power to silence the voices of American citizens, and he has done it in the most disrespectful, anti-democratic way. It would get turned up during the city council meetings, that the city council meetings would have to stop the meetings because people would be screaming at Brandon Johnson. The mayor only gave $500,000 to be spread around different neighborhoods. Chicago has 178 official neighborhoods, but the city is also divided into 77 community areas. I watched a video clip entitled, quote, Chicago residents call Mayor loser, criminal, as council votes down $3 million property tax increase, unquote. To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. In the video, Mayor Brandon Johnson, his demeanor was unacceptable. He was not listening to black voters. He was just standing there with an expression of, whatever, just hurry up. I have other important things to handle. Some of the things that came up during the public meeting was his $500,000 into a study of reparations. Notice, this is the same game that the Democrats was using in California. They used that reparations as a carrot. to get black voters to vote for them. They mentioned their concerns about the illegal immigrants that are dumped into the African American community and how they are committing crimes, such as breaking into stores and into homes. This man doesn't care to listen to anybody as it pertains to American citizens and Chicago residents. The incoming Trump administration is listening, and he has hired Tom Homan to be on his team to help solve this issue. Mayor Brandon Johnson is running around here disrespecting black Chicagoans and changing the rules of city council meetings to make it hard for black citizens to get into a city council meeting. And I said all along, it is easier for illegal immigrants to cross the border than for Chicago citizens to get access into the city council meeting. I found an article from the New York Post entitled, quote, Border Czar Tom Homan vows to hit Chicago first with mass deportation. Your mayor sucks and your governor sucks, unquote. To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. From what I understand, the incoming border czar, Tom Homan, has visited Chicago last week to address the mass deportation that are scheduled to happen January 20th. Homan promised Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson would go to jail if he stood in the way by protecting illegal immigrants. President-elect Trump asked him to run the biggest deportation operation starting in Chicago. Tom Homan asked both Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor J.P. Pritzker to come to the table and help with the biggest deportation operation in U.S. history. He said if they knowingly harbor or conceal an illegal alien, he will prosecute them. Tom Homan said he's in Chicago because he wants to send a message to Mayor Brandon Johnson. It seems like Tom Homan wants to prioritize public safety threats. The fact of the matter is sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for illegal immigrants. When you release an illegal immigrant out of jail, then they return back to the community that they came from. This puts the immigrant community at greater risk of crimes. The Democrats says they're trying to avoid a crisis. All they have to do is allow ICE into their prisons. From the article, it seems like the Democrats are doing everything possible to disrupt the mass deportation efforts and to make it a chaotic as possible because they want the storyline of a mother being snatched by law enforcement and separated in front of her children. The Democrats are literally creating the very scenario that they say they don't want to happen because this could all be avoided if the Democrats will allow ICE to go to the prisons and retrieve the illegal immigrants. If the mayor and governor won't allow them to do their job, then they will be forced to go into the immigrant community. It doesn't matter your age, how long you've been in the country, or how many children that you have. If their paperwork isn't incorrect, then they will be deported back to their homeland. When it comes to stories of illegal immigrants taking the lives of American citizens, then the liberal media is quiet. These Democratic governors and Democratic mayors are creating a hostile environment, forcing ICE agents to hit the streets and to go into the immigrant communities looking for illegal criminals. That's why I go on this mass deportation, because it's important that black grassroots media educate our listeners and counter the propaganda by the mainstream media. This issue has nothing to do with xenophobia. What's happening is those who are unlawfully in the country and who are committing crimes are finally being removed accordingly, because that's what the American people voted for. Mayor Brandon Johnson has been the safest Democrat. He followed every agenda that the Democrats wanted in Chicago. But Mayor Brandon Johnson, you have to make a choice. The agenda of the Democrat Party is not in your best interest. You have to think about your community and your legacy. Shout out to the international listeners from Africa, Brazil, Canada, and Europe. Hopefully we can get this film project fully funded in next year in 2025, so that we can move Gurkam beyond cyberspace and connect with real people who are, like me, standing on business. The sooner we get this film project popping, the sooner I can select my team to help me manage and run Gurkam, Chicago. Again, I want to move my online talk show from behind the computer, just doing live streams or just doing regular content. We want to connect with other people so that others will know what we're doing in the community. I can't wait for us to start hosting our African tour so that my group members from Gurkam, Africa can meet me in real life once we get this film project fully funded and made here in America first. And then I could shoot my second film over there. I encourage all of my listeners to watch the video clip entitled, quote, Chicago residents call the mayor loser by Chicago Red members, unquote. Just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. You hear what the brothers and sisters said, that they were gonna flip the city red. What that means is that they're gonna start voting more Republican. Our mayor said he will not allow Trump to come to Chicago because it's a sanctuary city. Mind you, we're in a $1 billion deficit, and the mayor is spending half of our money on illegal immigrants. The mayor said he was not going to raise property taxes during his campaign. Now he wants to raise our taxes. They have already gotten $300 million, and now they are asking for an additional $150 million. The mayor is trying to use our tax dollars to protect illegals by getting them legal services. There's a 10-year prison sentence for those who protect illegal immigrants. That's the law. I did an AI search about the United States of America federal law as it pertains to illegal immigrants. It said under federal law, it is illegal to harbor or conceal an undocumented immigrant to prevent their detention by federal authorities. And the relevant statute, which outlines penalties for actions related to smuggling, transporting or harboring undocumented individuals. Key provisions of the law: 1. Harboring or concealing is illegal to knowingly harbor, shield, or conceal an undocumented immigrant in any place, including buildings or vehicles, to avoid detection by federal immigration authorities. 2. Encouraging unlawful entry. It is also illegal to encourage or induce someone to enter or reside in the United States unlawfully. 3. Transportation. Transporting an undocumented immigrant within the U.S. to further their illegal presence is prohibited. Penalties violating this law can result in fines, imprisonment up to 5 years in prison for a single violation. Penalties can increase if the offense involves aggravating circumstances such as smuggling for financial gain or resulting in injury or death. Clearly, a lot of these people doing is against the law, but it's not being enforced. That's the part we need to get into right there, because you clearly heard that a lot of these things, even the Democrats did in the last administration, was trying to circumvent federal law enforcement, which would be ICE, from getting the people that actually is breaking federal law. What they called 8 U.S. Code 1324. That's the law that actually breaking right. And you heard it once again, it was harboring and concealing, encouragement, unlawful entry. Those who try to teach people how to game the system by moving people around to further their illegal presence are prohibited. Black Americans get the letter of the law. White Americans be like, what law are you talking about? The law on the books or the unwritten law for them? Brandon Johnson needs to read the room. Biden is out and Kamala Harris is not going to be president. In contrast, Mayor Eric Adams is reading the room. Eric Adams understands that he has to play ball. In other words, he has to get on board with the Trump team. There's no reason to upset the same people who helped elect you into office. When Black Chicagoans decided to get rid of Mayor Lori Lightfoot, they voted for another Democrat, Brandon Johnson. I explained that he was D1, meaning Democrat first, blacks, and he will continue the same agenda, but Black Chicagoans paid me no mind and elected him anyway. Now they are crying foul. I predicted the migrant crisis in my revised book, but Black Americans refuse to embrace my vision and plan for the past 20 years. Now, and at that time, that was during the era of warning. Now we are in the era of consequences. We still have a little time left to get this thing right. So Black Americans, hear me and hear me loud and clear. Especially like-minded Black Americans, my message is for you. Work with me. Let's get this thing popping, because I'm trying to help our people. That's all I'm trying to do. It's not easy because, a lot of our people are, got that slave mentality, but this is why I do this video podcast, because I'm trying to reach you. I need like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants to please purchase my revised book and read my story for yourself. If you agree with my vision and plan, then donate what you can toward our film project, and then also contact me through email. I provide my email in the book, and make arrangements with me to come on this platform so we can talk about it and encourage others to get involved too, and this will help get the ball rolling. If I was Mayor Brandon Johnson, I would not spend another dime on those illegal immigrants. Instead, I would bus them to Springfield so that the governor, J.P. Pritzker, could provide for them because he has more resources to help them. The mayor got people yelling at him 24/7. I believe these Democrat mayors and Democrat governors will try to prevent Trump from protecting the country from illegal immigrants coming over here because they are being paid by these mega corporations. That's just what I believe. We don't know who these people are because they're not vetted or screened. I believe all the Democrat mayors and Democrat governors should be charged with treason against the United States. If I was president, I'm just saying. Well, they're taking public tax money and creating a fund to fight against the Trump administration for doing something to help the American citizens. Why aren't they going to jail for misuse of public funds? These Democrat governors and Democrat mayors want to use public funds for lawsuits to fight for foreign nationals who aren't citizens of this country. These Democrats are going to take our tax dollars and protect non-citizens. Again, why are they're not being brought up on charges for misuse of public funds? That's not what the tax dollars is for. It's for American citizens. Notice under Democrat-ran cities and states, the African American neighborhoods are dilapidated. We have seen how public education is failing our children. In Ghettos of Chicago, we will offer associate degrees and vocational training for young adults who are interested in learning barbering, cosmetology, electrician, plumbing, etc. Instead of taking that money and using it to fight for people who should not be on the soil, they should use the money to help fund our public schools, and help our kids gain some skills. These career politicians are sitting up here taking billions of dollars and helping illegal immigrants. That's not right. You don't have to be mega to see that's that's common sense, but that's what the Democrats do. I watched a video clip from ABC News entitled, quote, Activists Brace for Trump's Border Czar, who says Chicago will be ground zero for mass deportations, unquote. To watch the video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. Tom Homan came to Chicago on Tuesday, December 10th, charged with executing President-elect Trump to crack down on illegal immigration. In the video, he said people need to know that this is a country with laws. More than 50,000 migrants have arrived in Chicago since August of 2022, stretching our financial resources and the patience of many of Chicago residents don't have the money to support so many people. Mayor Brandon Johnson had repeatedly vowed to protect the city's sanctuary status. Tom Homan said he was going to prosecute Brandon Johnson if he stands in his way. I don't want to see anything bad happen to Brandon Johnson. He's still a fellow black man like me. Learn from your fellow brother, Eric Adams, in New York City. He understood the situation and he turned around the issue. I would sit down with Tom Homan and say, I'll work with you. What do we need to do? I'm not about to get myself stressed out anymore with these people who are putting a strain on my city. It's not worth going to federal trial over illegal immigrants. I would not sit up there and risk my freedom for the Democrat Party. I'm not trying to cross over looking for approval from other groups. I want to stay focused on my own community and trying to unite the African American community and the African immigrant community. That's why I created this platform. I wouldn't have an audience if Black Americans and African immigrants wasn't watching my video podcasts or listening to my audio podcasts. That's why I encourage you all to subscribe to my YouTube channel or my YouTube page. Same thing. Lord knows I can't wait to see the day that we get this film project fully funded and made so that we can build the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. Then we can start hosting our African and Caribbean tours so that we can set up local chapters in each African nation and each Caribbean nation that we visit in order to do international trade among our people and GRCAM members. The majority of our audience is Black Americans and African immigrants, as well as Native Africans that's supporting this platform. And we appreciate that. We're going to do what we can to help the African American community, starting here in the city of Chicago. No other community is going to support me than my own community. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this video podcast and share with your friends on all social media sites that you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Our second topic, Mayor Eric Adams was forced by the Biden administration to spend $6 billion on illegal immigrants. When people try to compare Black Americans to other groups by asking why all these other groups that come to America are able to achieve the American dream, but Black Americans can't as a collective. The answer, because these other groups are not targeted by the white supremacist financial elites. The foundation of the United States of America is anti-Black racism, and this was before the Constitution was written. Every time Black Americans try to do something for self, we are being targeted. For example, Black Wall Street, and not just Black Wall Street, but also Rosewood. Different Black communities always was the same problem, being sabotaged by these white supremacist financial elites. They make up excuse to run Black people out of the towns, and then they want to whitewash the stories from their point of view. No other group in America have to deal with all this sabotage. I try to encourage my members not to compare themselves to other groups because they don't have our history. People don't want to tell the full story of what happened to us as Black Americans. Eric Adams spoke out against the migrant crisis a year ago. I found an article from the New York Post entitled, quote, Mayor Adams warned migrant crisis will destroy New York City. Rips Biden for failing to help, unquote. To watch the video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. The Biden administration raided his campaign staffer's home after he made that speech. They took his phone and ended up putting charges on him. He did a press conference where going to break down how much money has been spent and what has not been appropriated to the people of New York City. Keep in mind that New York City is also a sanctuary city, just like Chicago. My question is, why New York City residents did not demand a referendum put on the ballot if New York City should remain a sanctuary city, just like we tried to do here in Chicago. $6.4 billion were spent on illegal immigrants. It's going to have a devastating impact on the city. $400 million could have been used for community schools to handle chronic absentees. They could have spent $600 million on guidance counselors and social workers in schools. $39 million could have been spent on summer programs and extended hours for 30,000 students. $22 million on metro cars for 70,000 summer youth programs. $200 million could have gone to police officers or the police department. The Biden administration hurt the future of New York City because the Democrats' open border policies. I thank God that woman didn't win the election. I'm just being honest. $400 million could have gone to community schools to handle, like I say, chronic absentees, students, but instead it went to people who chose to leave their homeland to come over here to gain the system with free handouts just for crossing the border. $600 million could have been spent on 2,000 guidance counselors and social workers in public schools, but that didn't happen because the Biden administration pressured Mayor Eric Adams to spend money on illegal immigrants instead of spending money on American citizens. I've been saying all along, it's much cheaper if America would pay Black Americans our reparations because the money would go back into the American economy. A majority of Black Americans will remain here. Black entrepreneurs will create businesses which will create a tax revenue for the city, the state, and the federal government. We have places in California like San Diego who's raising $2 million to help illegal immigrants. You mean to tell me that the residents of San Diego don't need that $2 million? American people got to get involved with this. If America voted for Trump and he keeps saying mass deportation for illegal immigrants, and Democrats are still trying to protect them, this is why they lost the election. People are getting sick and tired of these Democrats taking our tax dollars and spending it on illegal immigrants, setting up legal funds to fight Trump's deportation. We have roads and bridges that need funding. We had about 15 to 20 million people coming into this country during the Biden administration. There's no real number because we don't know how many came. It's, that's the problem too. Afro Latinos are treated horribly in Latin America. So that colorism, is real, you know, is real deep down there. So, they're gonna bring that those black sentiments or you know prejudice with them when they come over here. The case about Ivory Smith, a 7-year-old from Houston, Texas, lost her life due to a criminal migrant who was driving under the influence of alcohol. Mass deportations will help with public safety. Wanting people to follow the law is not right-wing issue. I want people to follow the law. Black Americans are governed by the letter of the law in this country. It's hypocritical to law-abiding citizens for us to watch a certain group of people who are non-citizens allowed to break federal law and we just stay quiet. Black Americans get locked up on suspicion of stealing a backpack. For example, brother Khalif Brower, who was placed in Rikers Island for years for something that he didn't do, and it got the best of him, and as a result, he ended up committing suicide. I covered that story, many more about how Black Americans' lives were taken just for running away from police officers. Black Americans are being oppressed due to the laws, while these other groups of people can come over here without dealing with oppression. That's a double standard, ladies and gentlemen. They are also taking the lives of American citizens, and on this platform, I'm going to speak out against it. If that makes me a right winger, then that's what it is. I don't care what they call me. These Democrat shields feed you lies and falsehoods. The only thing that will give you, the only thing that they can do is gaslight you and call your names. When you come to our platform over here, we promote the gospel of truth with facts. I'm putting my reputation on the line. I'd rather make money on my own than to sit up here and become a sellout by misleading Black Americans just to get a check from the white supremacist financial elites. Hell no. I ain't going out like that. I used to tell all of my group members, once I am able to get my film project fully funded and made, and once GRCAM members from around the country decide to move from behind the computer and work with me in building the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, starting on the west side of Chicago, and then we're going to expand to the south side of Chicago. That's real. Then I will select those who will help manage the business without me having to be present all the time. Because I want to expand this business to the African continent. So my African group members from GRCAI of Africa, please stand up. Put me on blast. Help my video podcast to go viral. Just share it on all social media sites that you're on. That's all I'm asking you. For those of you that's on the continent, because I know that you're living, a majority of you are living from hand to mouth. And, it takes capital for me to, get this thing up and running. But this is, again, why I created this platform, to get my message out there, because I need to be heard loud and clear, but I need to connect with like-minded people, not the ones that's just the naysayers. We're going to shoot the second film in Africa. When I come to Africa, and what I mean is that it's going to be in South Africa. I will apply for dual citizenship there. so that I can work with the natives and provide employment for African natives that's going to be GRCAM members. Our second film, the sequel will be entitled African Liberator, Battle Against the Colonized Mindset. When I come to South Africa, GRCAM will be known as Global Kemet. Kemet was the original name of the land that is now known as Egypt, and it literally means, quote, land of the blacks. I'm going to continue during my platform, but you all, I need y'all to bear with me. Having a little technical difficulties, but things is gonna work out. Have patience, please. Again, I'm not on here for entertainment. This is a public announcement that I'm doing, and I'm doing the best that I can, even though my business is not up and running right now. But I'm not gonna let that stop me. That's how come I do these video podcasts, trying to do something to get my message out there loud and clear. As I was saying, I will continue during my platform, but I will focus more on solving African issues when I'm in Africa, and encourage GRCAM members throughout the diaspora to come visit African nations where we create GRCAI of Africa in order to help improve the African economy and develop business relationship between the diaspora and native Africans. We will still push for lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slave/freemen on the continent. We have to bring that black American energy over there in South Africa. We have to, we're going to have to stand up against these white supremacist financial elites that's over there in South Africa, because they're acting like God has given African resources to them. Those those natural resources is my birthright, and I'm reclaiming my birthright and my ancestral homeland. Once we get our reparations, then African, I would say African countries and people can start stumping for their reparations for colonization from 7 European nations, which are as follows: Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Portugal, Spain, and the United Kingdom. Those are the ones that colonized Africa during the Belgian conference. And I talk about that as well in my revised book. I am coming there to bring that black American energy, and again, to fight for my God-given birthright, as well as for my people who become GRCAM members. GRCAI of Africa is my gift to GRCAM members. In my business, we will not have any corruption. We will hold mandatory orientations. Everyone must pass our criminal background checks, sign the community pledge, and submit their thumbprints to be placed in our database. We will vet or screen everyone that walks through our doors. We will separate ourselves from con artists and hardened criminals. We will have protocol in place to deal with such persons. Those who reject my vision and plan will not be part of my business, because this is membership based. We will pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. You may ask, how does someone become a GRCAM member? Simple. All you have to do is purchase my revised book, either the ebook for $9.99 or the softcover book for $15 plus shipping and handling. Read my story for yourself. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, then send me a message. I provide my email in the in my revised book, and let's talk business. Governor Greg Abbott from Texas was trying to prevent illegal immigrants from coming over here, but by putting up razor wire fences, doing everything he could to keep them out of the state of Texas, while the Biden administration sued him and did away with razor wire fences. Again, for the record, if a person is here legally, having their green card temporary protected status, or anything that's considered legal, then that's fine with me, as long as it's legal. I just don't like illegal immigration. I don't like criminals coming over here, committing crimes. We have enough criminals in this country as it is. I have a question to ask Democrat Shields, since they're so pro-immigration. There was a 7-year-old girl, black girl named Ivory Smith from our community. Unfortunately, she lost her life because of an illegal immigrant. What do you have to say about that? I found a video clip on Fox News entitled, quote, "Drunk Immigrant Killed 7-year-old Mother, 7-year-old month after he was released from ICE detainer," unquote. To watch the full video, go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. On December 1st, a second grader was killed in a car crash that sent her mother to the hospital. The illegal immigrant ran through a red light while intoxicated. His bond was $150,000, and he also has an ICE investigation if he makes bail. We've learned he had an ICE investigation earlier this year. He was arrested for assaulting a family member. The felony was dropped to a misdemeanor, and he was sentenced to 113 days in jail. Basically, he pled guilty and walked out of the court because the ICE hold was lifted. He is a Venezuelan national, and some information on his current hold wasn't disclosed anything in June due to privacy regulation. If he had kept that hold on him, then that 7-year-old girl would still be alive today. You had a mother that wouldn't be injured too. Our condolences go out to the victim and the victim's family members. Notice most of your major cities in America are Democrat ran, and that's why a lot of our major cities have social problems because of Democrat policies. Keep that in mind. If he was still in his own homeland, Ivory would still be alive, but now we have to lay the blame on the Biden administration because it was the Biden-Harris administration policies that opened up the floodgates that got rid of remaining in Mexico and just let people like him come into this country. This is a victim of a crime that should be alive. A little girl had her whole life ahead of her. You see firsthand how illegal immigration hurts black families more than any other group. Foreign nationals, especially criminal foreign nationals. I found an article from the New York Post entitled, quote, "NYC is now home to over 58,000 criminal migrants, including more than gang members, ICE, unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comments section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. According to the article, Mayor Eric Adams said in so many words, all the criminals, migrants that's in the city, there's over 58,000 illegal migrants who are convicted felons, are facing criminal charges roaming New York City, and close to 670,000 across the country. Startling new data obtained by the Post. Again, blame is on the Biden-Harris administration. We have to deal with this man-made problem. 626 migrants with rap sheets, 1,053, nearly 2% are suspected are known gang members. If we build Chicago, and if Black American and African immigrants would get on code, then at least in Chicago, we would have a safer community and neighborhood. I promise all GRCAM members, I would make sure they have access to benefits and resources. It's shocking to say that Democrats have gone out of their way to harboring gang members, human traffickers, and other criminals who are on American soil illegally. Because New York City, Chicago, and LA, just to name a few, are sanctuary cities. In those cities, they provide illegal immigrants with housing, food, and health care. Truth be told, they need to stop using New York City, Chicago, and LA, and other sanctuary city taxpayer dollars to shield criminals from wreaking havoc on our streets, and instead for those governors and mayors to cooperate with ICE to have them deported. Not only do you have the criminal migrant to worry about, but also their children are committing crimes against American citizens too. This is why Mayor Eric Adams was talking with Tom Homan, because he has a lot of illegal criminal migrants moving around in the city, and they're out there committing violent crimes. We don't need to import more criminals. But unfortunately, the way this system works, they want all these foreign nationals. I don't know these people's mindset. They are coming from a different culture and a different language. This American experiment of different culture crashed. If you think about it, God placed all of us in different lands. Africans have their own homeland. Asians have their own homeland. East Indians have their own homeland. Europeans have their own homeland. Past empires tried to conquer the world like the Roman Empire. The Western nations are only 7% of the world population, but they dominate the global economy. The white supremacist financial elites are only 7% of the world's population, yet they still dominate the global economy because other groups are helping them. Nobody helped them, then they couldn't do all of this by themselves. When you have all these people coming together with different ideologies, that's the positive side of things. But it is also a negative side when you're trying to have different groups fighting for power and resources. Let's look at the crime in the state of Massachusetts. I found a video clip from Fox News entitled, quote, "Blue State Faces Spikes in Migrant Sex Crimes as Top City Pledges Resistance to Trump's Deportations," unquote. To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. From the video, what I understand is that they're telling you in a blue state they're facing a spike in migrant sex crimes in Massachusetts, which has seen a spike in illegal migrant arrested for sex offenses over the last several months, as the state and the city of Boston have pledged to resist President-elect Donald Trump's plan for mass deportation. Where are all the brothers and sisters from Boston? Y'all need to start going to your local city hall meetings, just like we have done here in Chicago, and start raising hell to these career politicians about removing those sanctuary city status. If you heard them talk about they're not going to do anything, then call ICE. These Democrat politicians are discriminating, because if a federal law enforcement agency is looking for you as a black American, then they would say, oh, I'm not going to help law enforcement, but for these foreign nationals, they will protect them at all costs. See the double standard? Chicago flips red should be in every city across the United States of America. This is the legacy of the Biden-Harris administration, ranging from child endangerment to sexual assaults. Many of these migrants were previously removed from the U.S. only to legally re-enter the country. Our children are being put at risk with illegal criminal migrants that have entered the country. This is why the Democrats got voted out of office. You mean to tell me that calling out this mess is right-wing? These Democrat shields don't care about American children's safety. The Democrat shields are defending criminal migrants who target our children. That's why we're calling out this mess over here. We're not talking about the legal migrants who's law-abiding. A day after Boston City Council unanimously voted to reaffirm a 2019 measure restricting Boston police ability to cooperate with ICE in deporting illegal migrants. The measure seeks to protect migrant communities from unjust law enforcement and restrict Boston police ability to cooperate with ICE, and ban police from keeping migrants in custody for possible deportation unless there is a criminal warrant. Massachusetts Governor Mara Haley has vowed that the state police would absolutely not assist Trump in a mass deportation. These Democrats are rogue politicians. They're lucky I'm not the president again. I would charge them with treason because they're not trying to protect the American people. Law enforcement arrests American citizens for shielding criminals under conspiracy and aiding and abetting criminality. The police is not messing with legal migrants. They're not doing anything wrong. They're working and living their American dream. Black America, I want you to see how the Democrats get down, and they want to fight for illegal immigrants who are breaking the law and threaten our children's safety. Notice they never fight for Black America, but they always want our vote. I found another article from Colorado Politics entitled, quote, "Illegal Migrant Crimes Cost $166.5 billion, 3 times the price of deportation," unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. Basically, what the article is saying is illegal migrant crimes are costing American taxpayers a lot of money. I ran across another article from NBC News entitled, quote, more than 13,000 immigrant convicted of homicide are living outside immigration detentions in the U.S., ICE says, unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. Two law enforcement officials said many of those migrants crossed into the U.S. under previous administrations and that the total includes people serving U.S. prison sentence. What the article is saying is that more than 13,000 convicted homicide, either in the United States or abroad, or living outside of immigration and customs for law enforcement detention, according to ICE data. The migrants are part of ICE non-detained DACA, meaning the agency has some information on the migrants and they have pending immigration cases in the U.S., but they are not currently in detention either because they are not prioritized to detention or they are serving time in jail or prison for their crimes or because ICE cannot find them. When Black Americans talk about mass deportation, Tom Homan, come over here, or come to New York City, Boston. These people aren't being mass incarcerated like we were during the 1994 crime bill. Notice these people aren't getting shot 19 times in the back for running away from law enforcement like Black Americans. I remember watching a video about a police officer being attacked by a lot of criminal migrants. They were beating them. They did not pull out their gun and shoot them. Nobody could say the police would be wrong. Mass deportation is a benefit to Americans, especially Black Americans. Do your own research about criminal migrants and what type of crimes they are doing. These migrants are making a bag from their criminal behavior. The way Mayor Brandon Johnson is treating Black Chicagoans versus how he treats illegal migrants. If Brandon Johnson was helping Black Chicagoans and doing his job, we have Black Americans living on the streets, homeless, and he is giving special treatment to foreign nationals by providing them with benefits and resources like shelters, free health care, and I would say a card where they can buy their own groceries. Brandon Johnson needs the business given to him every time because Brandon Johnson is wrong. When the Trump administration come into office in January, I believe the Democrats will try to hide illegal immigrants in schools and places of worship. If American citizens can be arrested, then illegal migrants can be arrested too. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this video podcast and share with your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Our third topic, be on alert, Black Americans who did a protest vote / or chose the couch. Democrats are plotting against us. We have to be alert about what's going on in this country. I have been listening to most of the rumors going on X about how the Democrat Party are looking to retaliate against black Americans who decided not to vote for them, which caused them to lose the election. This platform is an independent black grassroots media component of the grassroots community activist movement. Those in legacy media and mainstream media only promote propaganda. Propaganda is used to influence or persuade an audience to further an agenda. For example, Democratic shields like Roland Martin, who formerly worked for CNN and News One, his name came up during the WikiLeaks investigations. That showed Roland Martin, who pretended to be about black empowerment, but we later found out that he was in the pockets of the white supremacist financial elites. The WikiLeaks were much more than just about Hillary Clinton's emails. It exposed the global white supremacist financial elites' war machine around the world and lists documents which expose the U.S. government and also foreign governments. I talked about that on my show years ago. We learned that Reverend Al Sharpton received $500,000 from the Democrats. I'm giving you receipts and telling you what's going on over here. Even though Trump is going to be in office in January, we've got to still have a strategy for black Americans. The white supremacist financial elites control mainstream media, the economy, the government, and criminal justice system, healthcare system, and education system. That means that they have access to the mass population in our society. The reason why the globalist white supremacist financial elites allowed illegal immigrants to flood this country is because a certain group of our population that's not reproducing children at a higher rate, and that is white Americans. And so that's why they're allowing these illegal immigrants to come here to compete against resources against black Americans. That's why they're flooding them in the African American community. And again, I've been trying to tell black Americans we have to, get out of this slave mentality. We have to deal with that, and, we have to work together and separate ourselves from the ones that don't want nothing out of life. But, it is what it is. Chicago, New York City have the largest black population in urban areas. This is why they are dumping illegal immigrants in the African American community, have them compete for resources and eventually push out the black population from these urban cities by urban gentrification. We're seeing these protests among black Americans who's calling this mess out because it's happening across the United States of America. These career politicians don't want to give us our reparations, the descendants of American slaves/freemen who are responsible for building and creating the United States of America. These other groups will sell us out and become allies with our open enemy. They're not concerned about whether or not we get justice. They're just glad to be here and become the new buffer class to the powers that shouldn't be. I'm trying to wake up black America. We're gonna have to start holding meetings in person, offline, so that we can strategize. On this platform, we're exposing the powers that shouldn't be. We still have to push our agenda no matter who's in office, and we got to be aware of the schemes that are going on. I found an article from Tag 24 entitled, quote, California's reparation activists demand action during special sessions. Quote, the time is now. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. According to the article, it said, California reparation activists demand action during special sessions. The time is now, said California activists gathered outside the Capitol in Sacramento on Monday to demand action on reparations as state lawmakers convened for a special legislation session after Trump, Donald Trump won the election. The Democrats in California held an emergency special legislation session. The question at hand is, why did they hold a special session before Trump returned back into the White House? Because they're trying to scheme up a plan before Trump returned into the White House. The article said, quote, almost 250 years ago, our ancestors were considered to be three-fifths of a man, but in today's California legislation session, I consider it less than that, unquote. Notice the scheme going on. None of the areas in this special session were being covered. Our communities are addressing our specific needs. Black legislators had their name on the legislation for reparation, but they pulled back at the last minute before the election. Then they wonder why we didn't a protest vote or stayed on the couch. The special session called by Governor Gavin Newsom is intended to focus on protecting reproductive freedom, climate action, and immigrant families. I rest my case. We're looking to get compensation on multiple spheres: local government, state government, and federal government. This is why we need to discuss our strategy offline. Here's something else we need to be aware of as it pertains to these black politicians. I found an article from NBC News entitled, quote, California House District 43 General Election Results 2024, unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. Congresswoman Maxine Waters won another term in California, House District 43 general election. She received 160,080 votes, while her Republican counterpart, Representative Steve Williams, received 53,152 votes. Let's take a closer look at her district and understand why is she D1, Democrat first. When I did my research using Census Reporter, I typed in Congressional District 43, California. To read the data, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. The data outlines a map of Congressional District 43 in California. It has a population of 716,670 people. The data displays the median age, and it shows you the cities: Compton, Inglewood, Hawthorne, and Torrance. It also shows race and ethnicity in her district. According to the data, 61% Hispanic, 21% Black, 8% Asian, 7% white. The reason why I'm pointing this out to you is because her focus is on keeping her political party happy, and that's Latino voters, because they have 61% of the population. And that, again, that's why she's D1, Democrat first. This is why she won't do nothing for black Americans. She has never said publicly that she supports reparation. She is a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. To view all of the members of the Congressional Black Caucus, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. They don't do anything for black Americans because they are in the pockets of the white supremacist financial elites, ladies and gentlemen. They are not concerned about black American, nor black American issues. Black Chicagoans, I have been warning you for the past 33 years to embrace my vision and plan. Now, like I was saying before, we are in we're in the era of consequences. So we have a little time left yet, but it's just going to be really rough. So all I want to do is get this business up and running here in Chicago. Once we do that, I'm going to turn the business over and I'm going to expand it to the African continent. I'm going to work with continental Africans that want more out of life. That's just how it is. I mean, I don't want to waste any more time. But it got to get started here in Chicago first and in America for credibility. That's all I'm trying to do. Also, Chicago will end up just like Los Angeles, California, which only has 6% of the black population. I'm just saying out of the whole state. So in other words, their vote is worthless. The white supremacist financial elites are going to put a black face as our so-called representative, but they're not going to serve our interests. That's why we have to vote for people from the soil, from the black grassroots, from Ghettos of Africa. And it's not me. I'm not running for public office. I'm just trying to build this business, like I say, and trying to let it be a blessing for the African American community, even though Black Chicagoans have rejected my vision for the past 33 years. I'm doing the best that I can to get this thing off the ground. And all I'm going to do is continue to share my message. I got my book that's out there. I'm trying to produce fruit. I got the book that's out there. I have my virtual store, and now I'm trying to turn my book into a film. My film project is my last attempt to try to do something productive for my racial group, Black Americans. That's all I can say. A majority of Black Americans left California because the white supremacist financial elites was gentrifying the African American community left and right. Black Americans was unable to afford to live there any longer. Again, this is why I wrote my revised book to warn Black America that if we don't confront this slave mentality within our society, then we will fall, then Black America will fall. All of the principles in my revised book is the code for GCAM numbers. Again, the sooner we're able to build Ghettos Chicago, the sooner we can expand it to the African continent. Black Americans are mass incarcerated. Black Americans need jobs. Black Americans make up the largest population in homelessness. Yet I have little to no support from Black Chicagoans. And that's the sad thing about all of this. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. This is why I'm reaching out to African immigrants to help speed up the process. And everything that I'm doing, this is my credibility again. I don't understand why when I tell people I tell my brothers and sisters about my book and stuff, but it seems like that's a turnoff for them. They want to really get upset. Some of them say they don't like the title of the book and all that. But if anybody wants to be a part of GCAM, you're going to have to read my story, and you're going to have to agree with the vision point blank. I can't work with you if you're in disagreement. That's how we're going to declare war on this Willie Lynch or the slave mentality. This is why I created this platform to broadcast my vision and plan to like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants within the United States of America. Again, without support from the Black grassroots and the global African family, then I am unable to do my job. The Congressional Black Caucus is full of the Black Boule and Democrat shields. They see our people are hurting, being hungry and dying in the streets. Notice none of them said a word about Jordan Neely. Notice it happened in a Democrat city. with, I would say, a Democrat mayor and a Democrat governor. This is why I'm so hard on the Democrat Party. They don't do anything for black Americans. They only come around us every 2 years or when it's time to do that, the general vote every 4 years. They only serve the interests of immigrants, LGBT, and other Americans. Everybody except black Americans. We have so much stuff that we need to talk about from the black grassroots media. So many stories we need to cover in our own community. So many voices that aren't being heard. We're here. Just make yourself known to me and make arrangements to come on this platform to promote your books, your business, your ministry, your music, and your poems. I can't wait to start hiring the youth to be in our black empowerment films, and that's real. The worst thing about the Republican Party is that they have an open white supremacist racist component. You have racists on the Democrat side as well, but the white supremacist financing elites created both political parties to give the American people a false illusion that we have a choice. We're always being sabotaged and targeted from Black Wall Street down to Rosewood and many other black towns. I'm so glad to see that black Americans are leaving off that Democrat plantation. The Democrats are trying to blame the reason they lost the election on black women. And that's a shame. They should leave black women alone. Because black women helped them out. According to, the last polls, if you look at it. Black women showed up 92% for them. And look at how they are talking about you. And I have an article about that, but you can find that again on my Medium transcript. Black men woke up to the mess these people were doing. They don't respect black men and they don't respect black women, neither. They created the gender war between black men and black women. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this video podcast and share with your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Thank you all for listening. We greatly appreciate it. Put me on blast by telling all of your friends and family to watch our content on our YouTube page. I'm going to send a challenge out to everybody that's listening to this video podcast. I need you all to support our film project so that we can move beyond cyberspace and get our story on the big screen. To let the black world know who we are and what we're trying to do for our people who are trapped in American ghettos, starting in Chicago. Quote, Hood Liberator, made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins. You can be a part of this historic docudrama by contributing to our campaign either on our GoFundMe page or on our PayPal page, which will help fund marketing, promotion, clearance, legal, and general expenses. I would like to thank everyone who have contributed or will contribute to support our film project on our GoFundMe page, or if you're a U.S. citizen, you can use our PayPal page as a tax write-off because this is a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit faith-based community advocacy organization. You can also purchase items from our virtual store or purchase my revised book. The ebook is $9.99, or the softcover book is $15 plus shipping and handling. We appreciate your support. You can find all of the links below this video podcast in the comments section. Thank you for watching our YouTube live or the replay. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing. I want to thank all of you for listening to our podcast on Spotify. If you are new to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast, welcome to our safe space where we discuss black issues. We do this every week. Please do me a favor. click on that subscribe button, hit that like button, and join us each and every time that we are here. This will conclude our video podcast for today. We will see you on the next episode. Peace and blessings.